At exactly 5:12 p.m. on November 26, 1977, millions of people across southern England were watching the evening news on ITV. Suddenly, the picture shook. The screen blurred, and the voice of the newsreader disappeared. What replaced it wasn't static. It was something else, something no one could explain. A strange, deep voice echoed through televisions across homes, pubs, and even hospital waiting rooms. The voice wasn't human, but it spoke clear English. It said it came from the Ashton Galactic Command. It told people to lay down their weapons, care for the planet, and prepare for a coming age of peace. It lasted 6 minutes. Most people thought it was a hoax, a prank by some genius with a signal jammer. That's what the BBC said. Anyway, but that's not the truth. The real story has never been told. Until now. A man named Peter Caulfield, a low-level technician working at the Hannington transmitter station in Berkshire, was the first to suspect something was wrong. He hadn't been on duty that day, but came in the next morning when he heard what happened. When he checked the system logs, he found something impossible. No one had tampered with the signal. There was no trace of interference, no hack, no reroute. The message hadn't broken into the broadcast. It had replaced it. At the source, that should have been impossible. But when Peter brought his findings to his supervisor, he was told to delete everything and forget it. Just static. A student prank. They said, but Peter had already made copies. And what he found scared him. Buried in the signal, underneath the alien voice, was a second message, one that wasn't broadcast. It was shorter, only 12 seconds long. But it was clear. It said, "They will tell you this is a lie. But your leaders know we are real, and they're afraid." 2 days later, Peter disappeared. His apartment was left unlocked. Nothing was missing, except the original tape. Police said he ran away, but his girlfriend, Sarah, told reporters he'd been paranoid for days. He said people were watching him. Black cars parked outside, phones clicking. She said he even mentioned someone from MI5 warning him to stop asking questions. That same week, the BBC ran a full segment claiming the message had been traced to local pranksters using radio equipment. No names, no proof, just a quick dismissal. The story faded. Until 1992, a man named Dr. Elliot Kramer, a former engineer with the Ministry of Defense, contacted a small paranormal radio show in Wales. He claimed he had worked on a classified project in the late 70s, codenamed Project Anglia. It was created after the 1977 broadcast. According to Dr. Kramer, the government had detected the signal before it hit the air. They knew it was coming, because it wasn't just a local event. 3 hours before the message was heard on British TV, similar signals were intercepted in 2 other countries, Canada and Australia. But their broadcasts were shut down before they reached the public. Only the UK version made it through. Why? Because Britain's system had a fault. One tower, Hannington, wasn't under direct government monitoring at the time. A budget cut, a technician off sick. A gap, that's how it slipped through. But Project Anglia wasn't just about preventing another message. Dr. Kramer said the team's real job was to find the source, not a transmission, but of the intelligence behind it. His team discovered that the signal didn't come from Earth. It had no known frequency origin. It was reflected off satellites or bounced from the ionosphere. The data suggested it originated from within our solar system, just beyond the moon. More precisely, from the L2 Lagrange point, a spot where gravitational forces balance and objects can float in place. NASA denied anything was there. But Kramer's team was told not to trust NASA. In early 1978, the Royal Navy sent a covert satellite into space, equipped with deep-frequency scanners. For 7 weeks, it circled in silence. Then it picked up something, a steady pulse. When converted into audio, it wasn't noise, it was music. Not human music, but organized sound, mathematical in nature. A pattern, intelligent. Before they could go public, the satellite burned up during re-entry. The official story was technical failure, But Dr. Kramer said it was deliberate. The Prime Minister had signed an agreement with U.S. officials. No public disclosure of extraterrestrial signals without joint authorization. Britain was gagged. Kramer fled the country in 1993 after receiving anonymous threats. His final letter to the radio show host ended with one sentence. The Ashta voice was real. And it wasn't the first warning, only the last one we heard. In 2006, a leaked mod file surfaced online for 2 days before it vanished. It referenced an event called Operation Silent 77 and included a line that chilled researchers. Public exposure is neutralized. Primary source remains in orbit. Observation continues. The idea that something intelligent is watching us from space isn't new. But the 1977 incident was the first time it spoke to us directly and was ignored. Some believe the Ashta message was a plea from peaceful beings trying to prevent nuclear war. Others think it was a test, a psychological experiment by a hidden intelligence to see how humans would react. But the strangest theory came in 2019, when a private astronomy group in Scotland claimed to detect short bursts of unknown energy from the L2 point, exactly where Project Anglia focused their search. They reported the signals to government authorities. Within 48 hours, the group's website was shut down, their observatory was restructured, and the story vanished. So what really happened in 1977? A pirate prank? Or the only moment in modern history when something not of this earth tried to make contact and was silenced? No one can say for sure. But if you turn on an old CRT television at 5:12 p.m. on November 26 and let it sit in static, some people claim they can still hear the faint echo of that voice, and it's still warning us.